Have you ever looked around your home and wondered how it came to be? I'm not talking about the construction last year, but a journey spanning thousands of years. From simple shelters made of leaves to the high-rises that touch the sky, the Indian home has an incredible story to tell. Today, we're going on an epic adventure, a 10,000-year time travel expedition to uncover the fascinating evolution of houses in India. How did our ancestors live? What materials did they use? And how did their homes shape their lives? And in turn, how did their lives shape their homes? Grab a cup of chai, get comfortable, and let's rewind the clock. Our story begins way back, around 8000 BCE, in the Neolithic period. Imagine a time before cities, before written language. People were transitioning from nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyles to settled farming communities. So, where did they live? The earliest evidence points to rudimentary shelters, like the ones found at Bhimbetka. These weren't constructed houses as we know them, but natural rock shelters, caves enhanced by human hands. They provided protection from the elements and wild animals. But as agriculture took root, people needed more permanent structures. In places like Merga in modern-day Pakistan, we see the first true houses. These were simple, rectangular structures made from mud bricks. They were often divided into 2 or more rooms, likely for living in storage of precious grain. The floors were plastered with clay, and there's even evidence of internal hearths for cooking and warmth. These weren't just shelters, they were the first expressions of a settled, community-based life. Now, let's fast forward to one of the world's greatest ancient civilizations, the Indus Valley civilization, flourishing around 3300 BCE. This is where things get really interesting. The people of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were master urban planners. Their cities were laid out on a grid system, with streets intersecting at right angles. The houses here were a massive leap forward. Built with standardized, baked bricks a testament to advanced technology. These homes are often 2 or more stories high. Each house was centered around a courtyard, which provided light and ventilation, a design feature still popular in India today. What's truly mind-blowing is that many houses had their own private bathrooms and toilets, connected to an elaborate citywide drainage system made of terracotta pipes. Can you believe that? An underground sewage system, nearly 5,000 years ago. This level of civic planning and focus on hygiene was unparalleled in the ancient world. The houses themselves were functional, with designated areas for different activities, showing a sophisticated understanding of domestic space. After the decline of the Indus Valley civilization, we enter the Vedic period. The primary building materials shifted from brick back to more perishable ones, like wood, bamboo, and thatch. Why the change? The early Vedic people were more pastoral and semi-nomadic, so their homes needed to be easily constructed and dismantled. Texts from this era, like the Vedas, describe villages or grams made up of circular or rectangular huts. These homes were often built around a central hearth, which held great ritual significance. The structure was simple, a wooden frame, walls made of wadalandoba, woven lattice of wood strips, daubed with a sticky material like clay and strand a thatched roof. While not as permanent as Harappan homes, they were perfectly suited to the lifestyle of the time. This period laid the foundation for Vastu Shastra, the ancient Indian science of architecture, which began to codify principles about orientation, layout, and spatial geometry to harmonize dwellings with the natural world. Next, we journey into the age of great empires, starting with the Mauryan Empire around 322 BCE. The capital, Pataliputra, was described by Greek ambassador Megasthenes as a magnificent city fortified with a massive wooden palisade, while royalty and the wealthy lived in grand palaces made of wood and brick, sometimes even stone. The common person's house remained relatively simple. We see a mix of architectural styles, with influences from Persia and Greece beginning to appear. As we move into the Gupta period, often called India's Golden Age, we see a flourishing of art and architecture. Stone began to be used more prominently, not just for temples, but for the homes of the affluent as well. Courtyard houses remained the dominant design. These weren't just homes. They were self-contained units with rooms for living, sleeping, cooking, and even for household shrines. The architecture reflected the social structure, with larger, more ornate houses for merchants and nobles, and simpler, clustered dwellings for artisans and farmers. The medieval period brought significant changes with the arrival of Islamic dynasties. This ushered in a beautiful fusion of Indian and Islamic architectural styles, known as Indo-Saracenic architecture. While this is most famously seen in mosques and tombs like the Taj Mahal, its influence trickled down to domestic architecture too. The Haveli became the quintessential house for wealthy merchants and nobles, particularly in regions like Rajasthan, Gujarat, and North India. Havelis are magnificent multi-story mansions, characterized by their ornate facades, projecting balconies called jarakas, and intricate yali, or lattice stone screens. At the heart of the Haveli was always a courtyard, or sometimes multiple courtyards, separating the public areas from the private family quarters. These courtyards were social hubs and also brilliant climate-controlled devices, creating a cool micro-environment in the hot Indian climate. The alley screens provided privacy while allowing for ventilation, a perfect example of functional beauty. Meanwhile, in other parts of India, regional styles flourished, perfectly adapted to their local climate and materials. In the South, especially in Kerala, traditional homes called Nalukettu were designed to combat the heavy monsoons and humidity. Built with wood and laterite stone, they featured sloping terracotta-tiled roofs, a central sunken courtyard open to the sky to collect rainwater, and verandas with polished red or black oxide floors. The design promoted cross-ventilation, keeping the interiors cool and airy. Similarly, in the coastal regions, houses were often raised on stilts to protect against flooding. In the mountains of Himachal Pradesh, the Kathkuni style used interlocking layers of wood and stone to create earthquake-resistant structures. Each style is a masterclass in sustainable, climate-responsive design, using locally sourced materials and centuries of accumulated wisdom. The arrival of the Europeans, particularly the British, marked another major turning point. The colonial era introduced entirely new architectural concepts. The British built bungalows, a term that actually originated from the Bengali word bangla, meaning a house in the Bengali style. However, the British adapted it into a sprawling, single-story house with a pitched roof and a wide veranda running around it. These were set in large compounds, creating a sense of separation and grandeur. Neoclassical and Gothic revival styles also became popular for public buildings and the mansions of the elite. Features like large glass windows, high ceilings, and grand porticos became fashionable. This style was a departure from the inward-looking courtyard house, instead focusing on an outward-facing design with lawns and gardens, reflecting a different cultural and social outlook. For the first time, Western furniture and room layouts, like separate drawing rooms and dining rooms, became integrated into the homes of the Indian upper class. And that brings us to the post-independence era and the modern Indian home. The 20th century was a time of rapid urbanization and population growth. The traditional Haveli, or Nalukettu, gave way to independent houses and, increasingly, apartment blocks. In cities, the early post-independence architecture, influenced by modernists like Le Corbusier, who designed Chandigarh, emphasized functionality, clean lines, and the use of concrete. The focus shifted to mass housing solutions to accommodate the burgeoning urban population. Today, the Indian home is a vibrant mix of everything that has come before. In bustling metropolises like Mumbai and Delhi, you'll see towering skyscrapers with luxury apartments offering every modern amenity. In the suburbs, you'll find independent villas that might incorporate traditional elements, like a small courtyard or Vastu principles. And in villages, you can still see homes being built with mud, thatch, and local stone, continuing traditions that are thousands of years old. The materials have changed to concrete, steel, and glass, but the core needs remain the same: shelter, family, community, and a place to call our own. So, from a simple mud hut in Mehrgarh to a smart apartment in Gurugram, the journey of the Indian house is a reflection of our own journey as a people. It's a story of adaptation, innovation, and the beautiful blending of cultures. Our homes tell the story of our climate, our beliefs, our social structures, and our aspirations. The next time you walk into your home, Take a moment. You're not just entering a building of brick and mortar. You're stepping into a living legacy, a space shaped by 10,000 years of history. What do you think the Indian house will look like in the next 100 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey through time. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into history and culture. See you in the next one.